Your site is now finished, although you could add a lot of tweaks and improvements using the skills you've learned in this course. The final step is to publish the site so that it can be used by a web server. To begin, open the Smart Method Store sample file from your Sample Files folder. And open the Publish dialog. To do this, right-click on Smart Method Store in the Solution Explorer and click Publish. The Publish dialog appears. Using this dialog, you can publish your site using a variety of methods. Click on the Publish Method dialog to see the methods that are available. Web Deploy is a method that publishes your website directly to the web server. Web Deploy is a service that isn't supported by every web host, but if it is supported, your web host should be able to supply the required settings. FTP, or File Transfer Protocol, is the most common way of connecting to remote web servers. By using the FTP option, you can copy your site directly to the web server. FTP details should be provided by your web host. FPSE stands for Front Page Server Extensions. It is another way of publishing directly to a web server that is supported by some hosts. As with the other options, settings should be provided by your host. Although you can publish the site directly to a server using these methods, it's usually easier to publish it to a folder on your computer using the File System method, and then move it to the server yourself. By publishing the site to a folder on your computer, you can also keep copies of each published version of the site. This is a good idea, as you can then quickly revert back to an earlier version if a problem is discovered with a newer version. Click File System from the Publish Method drop-down. The window now shrinks considerably. Now click the Browse icon next to Target Location and navigate to your Sample Files folder. Now add a backslash to the end of the path and today's date. Note that you can create multiple sets of publishing settings using Publish Profiles. You can manage your Publish Profiles using the top part of the Publish dialog. To create a second Publish Profile, you can click New from the Publish Profile drop-down menu. Click Publish now. The site is now published to the location you specified. It's important to note that only files included in the solution will be published. Before publishing, you should always make sure that all of the images and resources your site needs are included, and use the Add Existing Item option to add anything that is missing. Remember that the web.config files created when you add access rules will not be included in your solution by default. If you want your access rules to work on your published site, you will need to make sure that each web.config file is included. Additionally, Visual Studio does not include databases in the solution by default. This is normally what you want, as the database on the live web server will be more up-to-date than the database on your local machine. The only time you want the database to be included is when you are publishing your site to the web server for the first time. Close Visual Studio now. We'll now view the published files. Navigate to the folder you published the site to and view the files. You'll notice that there are no longer any .cs files with your .aspx files. This is because they have been compiled into the bin folder. The site is now ready to be published to any Microsoft IIS web server. You only need to copy the files to the server. You've now completed Lesson 12:11. Publish a site.